Thank you all for coming to this first edition of Inside the Business Mind. I am here in the studio today. My friends, I have got a real rock star for you. I've got some people, a person here that I think is gonna just set the world on fire in so many ways, especially when it comes to virtual events. And I am so pleased to have her here tonight. And she's got so much to share and so much information and so much power and passion behind what she does. I'm hoping that you all will get a lot out of this. And I want you to know that today's session is being recorded. It's being recorded for YouTube, it's being recorded for Facebook. And so even if you don't get a chance to participate in everything we say and everything we do here, you can always go back and watch the recording. As people enter the studio audience, at least for the first few minutes, what I'm going to try to do is make sure I know where they are and where they're from. And I'd love to see, as much engagement and as much, as many questions as you possibly can. If you have questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat, and I will make sure that we will get Jasmine to answer and field those questions. And if Jasmine can't answer the questions, which I know she will be able to, but if she can't for some reason, there's probably some answers that I might be able to come up with. And while Jasmine is getting prepared back in the studio, I'll share some things with you that's going on with me. I have got a wonderful opportunity that I'm beginning to bring out for the world. And it's really, really something that I think is special. In fact, I commandeered or recruited Jasmine into my mania. And let me just tell you guys what's going on. On October 31st, we're going to be doing a full day event for small businesses, for small women-owned, disabled, minority organizations and leaders of those organizations, so they can learn within here in the DMV to find each other, to work well with each other, and to create more opportunities for each other. And really, this is the first time I've ever seen or even heard of this type of collaborative effort done virtually online for a full day conference. And so, not knowing a whole lot about how that kind of stuff works, I decided, you know what? I need an expert. I need a ringer. I need somebody who's going to help me make this thing magical. And I thought, what would it be a great title for that person? What would I be able to call that person who's really helping me pull this thing together, bring some fun, bring some interest, bring some. And I thought, I don't just need an event planner. I need a chief fun officer. Isn't that cool? A chief fun officer. So that's who Jasmine is to me. She is my chief fun officer, and all things fun, I depend on Jasmine to help me make it happen, because that's not me. I'm more of an analytical, more logical, more process-oriented person, and sometimes I lose the fun in the process, and I need to make sure that there's somebody that's watching that going, and you know what? Yes, you can handle the details, and all those things are done and ticked and tied, like my mother used to say. But you've got to be able to make sure that an experience is had by all. And I'm so lucky and I'm so blessed to have someone like Jasmine help me pull this thing together, help me create opportunities, and really, really make the magic happen. If you are a part of the studio audience right now, if you've just tuned in, I would love it if you could tell us your name and where you're from or what organization you're from. Just go ahead and put that in the chat, and we'll give you a shout out as we continue to move along our process. I want to make sure that everybody who can and needs to, would like to get recognized, does in fact do so. And so if you're out there in the studio audience and you're watching, go ahead and throw your name and the name of your company and maybe where you're coming from in the country in the chat box, and I'll make sure I recognize you. So back to the event. On October 31st, Jasmine and I are doing this magical event. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're creating opportunities for entrepreneurs all over the DMV. And I will post in the show notes a little later on how you can get a ticket to that event and how you can participate. If you want to be a sponsor, if you want to be one of our VIPs, I got great news for you. We're planning a VIP celebration That's going to happen. It's going to be live. It's going to be face to face, COVID safe. Everybody's going to be masked and social distance and all that kind of stuff. But we've got a restaurant sponsor in Vienna. It's just a magical place. I've gone and had a chance to go visit. And so for our VIPs, we're going to have a special event, and it's going to be really, really unique and interesting because it'll be a first for all of us to be able to come to a social setting, but still practice the social distancing, but still have a great time. And so we're gonna really, really enjoy that VIP event. It's gonna happen like 4 or 5 days before the event, and I'm announcing that on all the event pages and all that kind of stuff. If you want to come to the VIP event, you can also buy a ticket to that. That's gonna be really expensive because it's gonna be really exclusive. Plus, you need to know this is a fundraiser. This is a fundraiser for the CBP. That's an acronym that stands for the Community Business Partnership. The Community Business Partnership has been around for over 20 years, helping the entrepreneurs in the Washington metropolitan area, most specifically here in Northern Virginia, really, really find a way to get their act together and do better business. We're all about trying to stop the disastrous process and programs and problems that entrepreneurs seem to face when they start to go in business for themselves, whether they're trying to start their business or figure out what to do now that they've started a successful business. We want to make sure that we can align them with all the information, with all the talent, with everything that they need to have in order to be successful. Now, if this event is successful in October, we're going to repeat this over and over and over again. My goal is to do this at least 4 times a year and to have tremendous financial rewards for the Community Business Partnership and other organizations like it that are doing so much for small businesses all over the country. And I'm imagining that this is going to be well received by the small business community because they're not able to necessarily get the kind of powerful talent in terms of training and development that they need to have in order to move their businesses forward. And we want to make sure that there are no more excuses. So we call it the Leverage Up Conference, and it's all about helping them learn how to create the leverage they need to create to get over and beyond whatever obstacles or hurdles they would face in their business lives. So if you know business people, if you know entrepreneurs who should be paying attention to the Level Up Conference, or the Leverage Up Conference, I'm sorry, do me a favor and make sure you tell them about it, and make sure you tell them about what we're talking about now, and make sure you tell them about what we're trying to create for them, because this is going to be if we do it well, then obviously it's going to be an opportunity that we can continue to do and share with the business community. I'm in love with the business community, and I think that I've dedicated my life and my business to doing everything I possibly can to create opportunities for specifically small, women-owned, minority-owned, disabled veterans. I want to make sure they have the best they possibly can get. And I know that I can't do it all, but I have friends who can. And so we've recruited those friends, and they're going to be available for you on the 31st of October. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce the host with the most, the chief fund officer extraordinaire, the lady who just really puts it all on the table and can help anybody. When you're thinking about what you should be doing with your virtual events, when you're thinking about how to make them special, how to make them work, how to make them sing, you got to think about what Jasmine can do to help you create the experience, the reality, the structure, everything you need to pull it off famously so that you can shine, so that you can create whatever you want to create, and you can have that wonderful experience for the people that you want to bring to the table. And without further ado, I give you Madam Jasmine Bull. Hey, Jasmine, how are you?
I'm awesome. This is so exciting.
It is so good.
Thank you for inviting me. This is fun.
Well, I have to say, first of all, I really appreciate everything that you do and everything you bring to the table. I can't do very much without you, so I'm so glad that you're here. My good friend Darren used to he does a presentation every year for our organization, the Roundtable, and he explains what domo arigato means, and it literally translates into I could not have done it without you. And when I think of what we're doing together, what you bring to the table, I absolutely have to say, not just thank you, but domo arigato.
Why,
So,
thank
Jasmine,
you.
tell us, what is it that has gotten you so excited about virtual events? How did you arrive at this space where you're literally a pioneer in a brand new world of creation and opportunities for associations and organizations? How did we get here? Tell me the Jasmine Bull story.
Wow, that's such a great introduction and question. Such a pioneer. I like that title. Well, believe it or not, I like to believe I am the virtual event fairy, helping businesses and nonprofits eliminate event overwhelm and deliver this unbelievable experience to their audience, right? So in all essence, I truly just like having fun with people. I just like having people smile. And ultimately, I am just an event coordinator. I coordinate events. I've been coordinating events since I was 18. And actually, when I started my business, I wanted to dabble into virtual events, but the cause of this pandemic has made me actually pull it out of my priorities list and focus in on it. And so I really wanted to hone in and learn about this virtual world. And not only for myself, but I wanted to be able to bring a light to my clients and be an innovator for them and help them think outside the box, right? And encourage them that they don't have to cancel their event. They just need to try something new and different. And this propelled me to do and host my own virtual events on myself as unbelievable events, which help them see the source and be the source of their light for them. And anything is possible, sure. Right? Anything is possible. So I honestly believe in my motto, which is dreams can be a reality when you put faith to action to achieve them. And that's what I do as a coordinator. All of the dreams you have for your event, as long as we put faith into the action to achieve them, they're so possible, and that's pretty much what got me deviled into this virtual world.
You tapped into something that is so magical for me because, I built my whole business around vision. What is vision? How to help people create vision, how to help people use vision, because I understand the power of having something to be excited about, having something that gives you focus and direction and helps point you in the direction, and something that you can pay attention to that drowns out all the rest of the noise out there, because the dream is so powerful and so passionate. And if you don't have one, it's really not as hard as most people think it's really hard. It's like, oh, how do I create vision? How do I'm not a creative person. I'm not a dreamer, blah, blah, blah. And they think it's all, my grandmother used to say it's all muji muji, it's like it's mystical, magical process. It's like, well, no, it's not really that difficult. If you think about it, all you really have to answer is 3 questions. If everything was perfect in your world, what would you be, do, and have that you can't right now?
Right.
And then when people begin to think about answering those questions, all of a sudden they find themselves in a visionary mode. They find themselves in a situation where, like, wow, I never imagined that things could be perfect. Well, let me just see. If things are perfect now, I'll be able to do this. I'll be able to do this. I will be this. I will be that. I'll be able to have these things. I'll be able to do these things. And all of a sudden now you're visionary. You never know where it came from. All of a sudden it's just there, right?
Yeah.
And that just reminds me, organizations, I think a lot of their problems boil down to them not having vision for what they want to accomplish, even in their events. And I know you're very good at helping people pull that out. But what other, besides those things, what other are the major problems that you see that event organizers or association leaders or event planners have with creating now virtual events?
Ooh, that's a great question. Ooh, there's a list, let me tell you. But for today's I can top on the top of my head, I have 5 that I definitely see all the time that I just want people to know about, right? And one definitely is,
Okay.
I believe it is the easiest fix. It is the most simplest fix you could ever create for yourself. And it is when I see your virtual appearance, your camera. Too often, I've seen hosts and presenters, leaders don't have the proper lighting, the proper camera angle, the proper background. The sound is all grainy. Their clothing is all wrong, you know? So we have to remember when we're doing these virtual events that you're still presenting to humans, and humans are easily distracted. So if you have a virtual background and at some point your hand disappears sometimes, or your face disappears sometimes, or you have that like halo glow, it's distracting, and your people that are viewing it are getting distracted by this. You also have to remember that you can't show up to an event in just a t-shirt, right? Like just a plain, like a worded t-shirt or whatever it is, if you're a CEO, right? And you wouldn't walk into a boardroom with a hat and flip-flops. You know, you'd want to look your best. Now, I'm not saying, here's the thing. I'm not saying that you need to put on a 3-piece suit to be on a virtual event. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that you want to look your best. You want to look presentable. You want your people to know that you care about what you're talking about, and you want them to know that you care about them, right? And so I find that this is such an easy fix. And so I've partnered with a gentleman of mine that we've been really good friends, and we partnered, and he owns an I Do Event Decals. We partnered and created a virtual appearance, 5 keys to dominating your virtual appearance course. And it's an interactive webinar, because it's such an easy fix. And we're actually, if you little insight, we're actually launching, we do them every 2 months. And this month it is going to be on October 21st. And I know that, I think I have a link in here somewhere. I know that Coach can drop the link if he has it, but it's such an easy fix. And I find that that's one of the things that is such an easy fix, and it's so simple, and it helps you with your brand. It helps you with organization, and it gives you more revenue. Why lose sales? Because people are judging you, right? Based on, so number 2 that I always see, right? Low engagement from the host and from the audience, low interaction and low connection. You can't, or you shouldn't, take an in-person event and throw it virtual and think that it's going to go somewhere without any effort, right? You don't want your guests to feel like they're just watching a show, right? You don't want them to just feel like they're watching a show. You have to be interactive. You need to call on a participant, ask a question, guide a discussion, send a swag bag, you know? It's important that your guests feel valued. They want to feel like they belong. They don't want to feel like they need to sit on their couch because they're watching the next episode of Real Housewives or a CNN presentation, right? That's not what they want to do. I don't think they want to do that. I don't want to do that. Like, I want to be involved in the event. And then the third one, this is the biggest one. This to me is like the absolute, you need to cut the line at this point. And it's timelines. The lack of timelines without a proper lineup of sequence of events, the order of what you're going to do within your virtual events, right? It is so important in virtual events. It is so easy in virtual events to go off on a tangent or had side conversations during your virtual event. But when you have a timeline that guides you through your conversation on screen, it is so much easier and keeps you on topic. I will let you know for sure. Virtual fatigue is real. It's so real, Coach. It's so real. And people don't believe it, but it is so real. Meaning that if you're going to host a virtual event and you have told your guest ahead of time that it is going to be 2 hours and you end up holding them for 4 hours, you have then just lost interaction, participation. You have people clicking off. You got people doing whatever they want to do. And then you have people that don't want to come back to your next event because they realize you're just going to take up more time than they're actually needing to be taken up. So I have suggested, and I always kind of tell clients and things like this, Coach, that basically you want to send your guests the sequence of events ahead of time. Just a little trick, because you do that in an in-person event. What do you get at your registration desk? You get a lineup of what's going to happen. Right? You get whatever's going to go on in that room, whatever's going to happen, all that good stuff. So why not send it to them beforehand? So in case technology does its famous rule and decides to their connection's bad and they have to get off, or they don't understand where they're at, if they jump back on, at least they know exactly where you are, whether you're singing a song or presenting, whatever it is, that at least they know that they are attending. And then you are also respecting their time, and you want to respect them just as much as they've respected coming to your event. And that's so important to me. And then fourth, and I'm almost there, guys. I told you these are a lot. Number four that I always see too often, we have everybody do the, oh, I just got to send a Zoom link. No, you don't just send a Zoom link. When you're aiming to plan an event, any kind of virtual event, just, you want to plan it just like you would do an in-person event. There's things and you have to set in place your launch strategy to get maximum participation. You have to ensure that you have a proper rehearsal beforehand so everybody knows whose bandwidth is bad, or if somebody's background needs to be set right, or if somebody doesn't know they're supposed to speak at this particular time and they never chimed on. So you have to go over all those things. And then fifth and finally, this is one of my favorite things to do. Although I love planning everything else, this is actually one of my favorite things to do. You have to follow up. You have to follow up. The event is not over because it's over. And taking the time to have a proper follow-up process in place is so important. Sending those thank you messages to your vendors, to your speakers, to your exhibitors, all of those people that helped you make this program great, ensures you will get participation next year and more revenue. Who doesn't want to keep money in the pocket? Like, who doesn't want more money? Because they feel valued, they feel loved, and they feel like you are personally thanking them for their efforts. So those are the 5 things. I've narrowed it down to. There's more, but I narrowed it down to 5 that I thought were super, super important about this whole thing, Coach. It is, I think there's more, but I will say those are the 5 that I can say hit heavy for me. And I think as long as you keep those 5 things in mind when you're doing anything virtual, it's so easy to mess up. It's so easy. Technology doesn't like you. People don't like you. I mean, it's inevitable. Your life, you're not going to have everybody love you. Right. But at the end of the day, if you can get something right, just get those 5 things right and you'll be smoking.
What I love most about what you said, I have to say, is this gratitude, right? It's so important, and I see it happen all the time. And I notice when people do events or they do presentations of any type, they get so caught up in what they're doing, they forget about who they're doing it for and who's helping them and who's responsible for sharing the opportunity with them, all these things. And literally, I mean, you could, how can I put this? Everybody's into this big gratitude stuff, right? The gratitude journals, the gratitude journeys, the gratitude this, that. Everybody, and it's everywhere, right? It's becoming like a buzzword, like The Secret was back in the day when that first came out. Everybody was talking about, oh, do you know the secret? Do you know the secret? And it's like gratitude has gotten to be this buzzword now. But the reality is, all of us want to know that we have done something meaningful, we've done something special, we've done something significant. And when we do that, when we feel that way, we feel good about whatever it was we did. And the only way we know is when somebody says, thank you. I really appreciate that. That meant a lot to me. That's why in our organization, we have the RAP report, which stands for Respect, Affection, and Praise, right? We want to make sure that any of our members that have participated with us and have done something wonderful for somebody else gets those flowers now before they live, while they live, while they live. So we don't want to wait till, they're in a box somewhere and go, they were such a great person. And we're going to give them that gratitude like right now, and we can't wait. It's got to happen right now in the moment. I think that's an important thing for people to experience, because that makes them know that this was significant, this was meaningful, this was relevant. Right. And if you don't do that, well, you mess up and you think it's about what you had to say or what your presentation was. It's about the people that were connected to that. It was about the people who had that experience with you and went on this journey with you or did whatever you do. And if you don't recognize that as a leader, I'm famous for saying this, but I got to say it, you suck. that's really what it is. You know, you're not recognizing that people are not there for you. They're there with you. And you have to make sure that you're sharing the moment with them. So anyway, I want to let you know before I ask you the next question, my boy Wade Trefethan is here with you. Did I pronounce that name correctly? What's his name? How do you pronounce it?
Yeah, you had it almost close. Trefethan. I have troubles pronouncing it too. I just call him my Wade too. He's awesome. He's amazing. He's actually the partner that I do that virtual appearance with, and he's phenomenal in everything he does. I will say he is the backdrop guru. That is the dude. If you want a good backdrop, if you want a graphic, you need to contact Wade. He is the guru to contact when it comes to making yourself look amazing. And today I decided to go with just my normal office because I wanted to show the variety. But typically I normally have a green screen back here with his backdrop and it's really awesome. And so, but he's phenomenal if you ever need somebody.
So Wade, you're out there right now. Make sure you put in the chat how people can get in contact with you. And so while you're there, just make sure you put whatever contact information you want to have out there. If it's your name, it's your address, or it's your email address, or your website that you want people to hit up. I already put the link that Jasmine asked me to put up. I'm going to put it up again, just in case people didn't get it the first time. And we're going to move on. My next question for Jasmine, and you mentioned a lot of things, of things that not to do, things that you want to make sure you focus on, and so on and so forth. But I got to ask you, because everybody who does everything has the one thing. The one thing, if they never had to see this again, it would be great in their life and their profession or whatever that is. So when it comes to virtual events, what is the one thing that just sends you there? Because you know it's wrong. It's so wrong. It should be stricken from the ability that anybody has to do. What is that one thing?
Oh, geez. After all those 5, right? Those great points. I think I covered it. I think I stressed it out enough. It's the hope. I hope that businesses and nonprofits can take heed of timelines and sequence of events, right? Proper planning leading up to your event is so important. And I can definitely tell when a virtual event has happened and they didn't plan right. And I can see it the moment that the camera goes on. I can feel it. And then that goes for in-person events too. I can walk into a room and know for a fact they threw this together yesterday. Like it is that clear to me. And so in knowing all that, right, and feeling that stress and feeling that like, oh, I just want to help people, I created something to help people. Like just so you feel a little more confident and you can check all those boxes. I created an event, a free downloadable free event checklist just for you. So you can feel a little bit better about how you accomplish your event, right? Like you want to hit some of those key points. It's easy to read. It's easy to use. And I know Coach is going to drop that link in there. All you have to do is go to my website and you can download it right now. And it is so simple. And I can't stress it enough. Like just having that all of it. It's just so easy to tell. And I know most people can, and I get this a lot, funny enough, is that if I go to events with, and a lot of my friends know I'm a coordinator, and my boyfriend knows I'm a coordinator. So like if I go to events, people know that they're like, what are you thinking about? And I'm like, I'm really not. I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to. But it's hard. You can't get out of your world. When you're in your world, you can tell. And you're like, I just want to help you. So this is the way that I felt like was the best way to help you. To give you this checklist, just to kind of help guide you through it, like it is a fun process. It really is.
It's funny because I know you're a lot like me when it comes to this. Like I'm a little bit of a scientist when it comes to networking and relationships and how to make those things work. And so I create content and I create training materials and I create everything to help people be better at this thing, because nothing irks me more than when somebody asks you, what do you do? And you give them a whole bunch of useless, meaningless information that you can't do anything with. It's like, I put you on the stage. I gave you an opportunity to share your magnificence with the world, and what you came up with off the top of your head is some ridiculous garbage that I would never refer you because I'm afraid you might say something like that to one of my friends.
Yeah.
And people don't get that. It's like, so literally when we created the 5 elements of perfect presentation, that's the reason. That's what we're thinking about. Like, what do people say when they introduce themselves that take people to the left when you want them to go to the right? Right? What are the things? What are the 5 things that they do incorrectly? And I put it down on paper, and I try to help people understand. And now I can't help it. Whenever somebody gives a broken, poor, normal shoot from the hip presentation of themselves, I go, oh my God, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. And it's like, you always feel like you lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right?
Exactly.
And I'm sure you feel the same way when it comes to some of these events that you happen to participate in or see or whatever that is. That's why I'm like, okay, I know when Jasmine's coming, like, I got to clean my stuff up. I got to make sure that,
everything's in line.
Camera angle's good.
I was like, what do you think of this?
Because I don't want to hear that noise from
Because I do. My wheels start to go, and I don't mean for them to go. It's just, they just start to go, and I'm like, I wouldn't. I can't help it. There are some events that I go to, and I'm like, man, I gotta talk to whoever did this because that is fantastic. But there's definitely those moments where you're just like, what were you? Why?
Right. Right. I mean, I'm sure from an entertainment, from an acting point of view, you don't just jump on the stage. No. Come on. You got dress rehearsal. You got, scene rehearsal. Come on. You don't just jump on the stage, but I think sometimes people forget because they're so focused on what they're trying to say and what they're trying to do, they forget that there's an audience that's listening to them. And there's somebody who you want to influence them some way. You want to be able to have them do something. In fact, this Friday, I'm talking about how to create vision, how to help people, how to use vision in your stories when you introduce yourself so that people go, okay, they know what to do with what you just said. Instead of just going, I'm not going to buy from you. They go, oh, I know somebody who might buy from you, who might help you in some way. Let me go tell them.
Exactly.
And I think that's what you're trying to get to. So today, Friday at Coffee Tea, You and Me, which is my free coaching session I do every Friday at 3:00 as long as I can remember. Actually, almost 20 years now, I've been doing this program. Now that we can go live, we can go worldwide, which is crazy. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it completely. Oh, my girl, Peggy Kimmy is in the audience. It's so good to see you, Peggy. Do me a favor, Peggy, in the chat. Do me a favor and tell everybody where you're from, what you may be doing. I recognize that you just did some special things with your coaching certification. If you want to share that, that's great. We want to celebrate you and all your success. It's good to see you out there. Now, let me just see. I've got another question for Jasmine, and the magic question is this. We are about to participate in this magic conference, and you're my chief fun officer. What are you looking forward to? What are you most looking forward to in the Level Up conference that you think that Jasmine could use and move forward with?
Leverage up. I'm so excited. Really, I think I'm really just looking forward to the speakers. Like I honestly believe that you continuously learn. You are learning 24/7, 365. That is never going to stop. You could be 100 years old and you will learn something new. So I am so excited about the speakers, and I'm really excited, obviously, to be the chief fun officer. Woo woo, and help you navigate this virtual conference, right? Like, it's super exciting to be a part of something this broad. And I think the messaging that you're going to give to all of these business owners is going to literally, what it says is leverage them up, right? Put them in a different mindset, put them in a different mind frame, give them something to hold on to, right? You want to gravitate to something great. And I have to say that I can tell that Miss Shirley is going to put together one heck of a VIP cocktail hour, guys. And it's going to be in person. Yes, we're going to safe and be socially distancing the right way, but that is also something I'm super excited about because I love a good VIP cocktail party any day of the week. Like if I could just have one every day when I wake up in the morning, I would be in heaven. Like so, I am super excited about that.
You're right. This thing is going to be so much fun. I almost don't want to do the conference. I just want to do the VIP cocktail hours. But we got to do the conference because that's our public service, right? We got to make sure we help as many people as we possibly can. I'm thinking I think I might figure out, at least I got to figure out how to get some good camera work done so that at least people can have pictures because they're going to see us, dressed to the nines, having a ball, and I want them to want to experience this in the future, which is going to be pretty good. I know that we are doing something that I've heard of in the past, but I think what we're going to be, our version of this is going to be unprecedented. We're having an actual contest between the first 100 ticket holders. If you want to present your business, if you want to present your idea in front of the entire conference, we're literally having a video contest. And so everybody's going to get to turn in a 2-minute video introduction. And we're going to select the top 20 to put together in a reel, and we're going to run them during the breaks for the conference. And so just to add some more excitement to the conference and some more opportunities for everybody who's participating in the conference, they are going to get to have themselves exposed. So these are the first 100 ticket holders, which is really, really awesome. And the winner of that contest is literally going to be our last conference speaker. And so there's a lot of people who've been tapping me, man. They've been hitting me up, offering, can I speak? Can I speak? Can I speak? And I'm like, I've already chosen the people that we got going on. Maybe you can get the next one. But for this one, if you really want to be a speaker, you really want to be one of the people that we put out front there, then I think what you need to do is get that ticket and send that video in. And we're going to give them a link a little bit later on where they can send the video. It has to be less than 2 minutes. It has to be really, really amazing to be selected. And if it gets in the top 20, we're going to run it on the reel. If your video gets in, and if you win, then you're going to be one of the platform speakers, which we're not going to even announce to almost a day before. So you got to be ready to be the winner if you're thinking about doing that. And I think this is going to be amazing. I'm looking forward to it. We got hundreds of people already signed up. But we got a couple of opportunities for people who still want to get in on the early deal, which I think is really special. Okay, so we talked about that already, and I just really want to make sure you focus on this and let people know this, Jasmine. I mean, we all want to do great things. We're all trying to do great things, and I know you have a special desire to really help entrepreneurs and help people out. What do you hope to contribute in your future, in your business, in your life? Just talk to me about that.
Well, really, it's excitement. It's excitement for the event process and understanding that this is fun and it can be a fun process. And you don't have to be overwhelmed, worried about your timeline, your virtual appearance, engagement. All of these, and choosing the right virtual platform for your particular event. It is a fun process, and you can do this, and it can truly be an unbelievable experience. And it can be easy as checking a box, right? Like that's why I created that event checklist. It is easy as check, and be done with it. And that's my hope, is to help people feel this process is fun. I enjoy it. And when I get clients, they actually turn around and enjoy it too. After we get through the first nitty gritty, they end up liking the steps that have to get taken to do it. And we become really great friends and we work through it. And I will say that most of my clients are lifelong friends, and I haven't had not one friend not come out of my clients. So if you're going to be a client of mine, you definitely will always be my friend for life. So
I love that. And I got to ask you one question that I didn't plan to ask you, but I'm going to ask you anyway, because it's a great opportunity. If I could put you in front of the perfect opportunity. I mean, literally the perfect opportunity for you. What would it be demographically? What I mean by that is it a certain type of association? Is it a certain type of organization? If you could just get that and crack that code and get into these types of events or these types of things, what would it be?
It is your small businesses, or I love my small businesses. It is your nonprofit associations, all of those heavy hitters that make decisions in those large nonprofits. So that's your marketing, communications, all of those people, and any CEOs of corporate companies, right? Everybody in a small business is a CEO, but your corporate companies, like your associations, like RMA Associates, and any of those kind of big companies that do corporate events on a constant, those are the audience. And I love my nonprofits, and I love my small businesses, and I love anybody who wants to see me. I love them. So, but those are if I
didn't I hear somewhere that you're trying to own Prince Williams County? Aren't you trying to buy the whole county? Didn't I hear you say that?
Look, I am on the registration to buy. My goal, that's another goal of mine, is to be the household name in Prince William County when you are looking for any events to do in Prince William County. So perfect. that is something that is super. So that's my lead, but I am on the list of like the next $1 million. like I need to buy Prince William County's name so we can change it to Unbelievable Events County.
So, okay, guys, we're about to round it out with Jasmine. If you guys have any questions for her about events and virtual events and how to make them special, please check some of the links that we put out there for you already. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of freebies, a lot of tools that you could use. But if you have any questions that you really want to ask Jasmine, now is the time. Go ahead and put that question in the chat. Go ahead and make sure that, we've got a good idea of what it is. She's listening, I'm listening, and we're ready. If you have a question for me about the Leverage Up Conference, anything you want to know, let me know that as well. And I am going to go ahead and put the link to the Leverage Up Conference in the chat as well, so that everybody knows how to get their tickets. If they haven't, they know where to go. And that's that. And so Jasmine, is there anything in the last few minutes that you want to share with the audience while they're keying up their questions?
Just honestly, if you feel this way, like if you feel like very overwhelmed, I am here to help. I pour into anybody who's willing to listen. I love what I do for a reason. I was destined to do what I do for a reason, and everybody's destined to do what they do for a reason. And so why not let somebody who's destined to do what they love to do it for you, and make your life easier. So that's really, ultimately that's really I want people to enjoy what I do, and they do, and they enjoy coming to things that I do. So that's definitely fun.
Right.
So do we have any questions?
I'm all about that, exactly. Well, for me, I got a question for you.
Okay.
You just mentioned that, literally finding people who are aligned with you and then creating that opportunity to walk together with them. That seems to be a special thing to you. I know I feel the same way. I don't want to take people out of their comfort zone, or I do want to stretch them a little bit, right. But I don't want to break them. I want to walk with people, for as long as we need to walk together. And then, when it's time for you to break off and do your thing, you go ahead and break off and do your thing, and I'll support you, all the way up until that point. And when it's time for me to break off and do my thing, I'll break off and do my thing. But I think sometimes people get confused, and they think that, well, you're a military brat, and so am I, so we probably understand this a lot. Having to move around a lot, I had to make friends. Mm-hmm. I had to make new friends.
Yep.
Every 2 years or so, you know? And so I'm like, I don't know about this long-term hang on to the friendship forever. I'm about to hit it and quit it. I'm about, let's make this something happen. Let's make the magic happen. Like right now, while we have the time, because we might not be together in a few months. as dad gets deployed to the new thing. And so that's still embedded in my universe. I like that. That's why people would say, I have so much fun when we're around you, Marvin. Like, I'm glad you're having fun because I'm trying to play right now. I'm trying to play as hard as we can right now, because I don't know when we're going to play again, so we're going to get this done right now. And people think that, I want to do that forever. Like, no, I only have so much energy.
Right.
Let's roll while we can.
I can definitely relate.
But when we can't. I got to move on. We gone. We out. And so I think I people who do coaching typically hate that sentiment because they think that you're out of business if you're not if you're constantly looking for new people to play with. You want to be able to solidify it, and people come back and they want to purchase more and more over and over and over again. I'm not in that mindset. I mean, I understand it, and I don't think anything's wrong with it. But personally, for me, I'm like, listen, I want to sing for my supper. I don't mind reinventing and creating new, and because I think every time I do that, I open myself up for more opportunities and more people, and I can only be intense with so many people at a time. I can't have intense relationships with everybody all the time. I don't have it. I mean, some people are extroverts and they can do that. They can do a lot more than I can, but I'm not that person. Yeah. I mean, you're probably more of an extrovert. You probably can handle, good, 12 to 15 people in your inner circle. For me, maybe 5. What was that saying again?
I am the biggest extrovert. I am huge. I am like, let's go. I want the more the merrier. Invite anybody and everybody. Let's have a good time. But yeah, no, I can relate to the sentiment of like making new friends. And I think that's why I'm so like, because I want to hold on to the people that I was like in different states that I was in and stuff like that, because, you never know, I might come back. And if I've had you for a friend for a long time, I'm going to come back and at least have somebody to visit and we can go and have a good time. So I don't know. I'm a huge extrovert. If you can't see through the screen, I am like, come join me. come have fun with me.
My long-term friends can accuse me and be legit with ghosting them. Or they may not see me for 10 or 15 years because, hey, I was playing in a different game. I was in a different party. I was in a different spot. I was with different people, and now I'm back. And if they know anything about me, they know that we're just gonna play. I wasn't feeling bad. I wasn't mad. I wasn't upset. I just don't have the capacity to have more than a few people in my universe at a time. Because maybe I play too hard. Maybe I go too deep. I don't know. But that's kind of how I am, and that's how I've been able to function. And it works well for my business. I set my business up so I can do exactly that, and I don't have to worry about people because people ask me after they work with me for like 4 months, I'm done with them, right? We're done, and they're going, well, what if I need you again? Well, maybe we'll sign on for another 4 months, but I'm not sure because my definition of winning is that you don't need me anymore.
Right.
Once I've done my daring do, I'm out.
Right.
You need to move on. Now, you need a therapist, move on. I coached you through the big game. We won the game. What? What do you want to do now? So I think that is a lot of times I think people they get too emotionally involved and they don't know how to separate business from fun or pleasure, and they want to just keep having fun when the business is over. Like, okay. That's not what we were here for. We're here to get you moving forward on your business and go find some other people that want to play with you long term. That kind of thing. Anyway, I know I'm crazy. I know I'm the same way. Yours is the same way. So we need to slow all that down, right? Okay. I don't see any other questions that anybody has in the chat that I could see. So I think we're going to be golden and call it quits. I don't think I forgot anything, but this is an example of inside the business mind. To give our members an opportunity to shine. And so for those of you who don't know anything about the roundtable, we'd like to find out more. I will put the link to the meetup page in that. If you're thinking about starting a roundtable group in your area, or you want to find out just how we do all this stuff, feel free to hit me up on the private chat on either YouTube or Facebook. I will respond. Maybe not right away because I got a lot of people that I'm trying to respond to. So, but I will get back to you. I promise I'll get back to you. And if you have any questions for Jasmine that you want me to get to Jasmine, I will definitely get those questions to Jasmine. If she's not, seeing the links or whatever that is, we'll get there. She's a very special person. I'm so glad to have her, helping me with the events that we're doing. And I'm looking forward to, watching her do her thing, because I think she's going to be amazing. Well, I know she's going to be amazing. I'll say so. For last, anybody shout out? We just give a shout out to Jasmine. Good having you, Jasmine. Thank you so much. And we're going to close this party down. It will be recorded on YouTube and on Facebook. So you might be seeing these links, in different places that you're connected to either Jasmine or I or Wade. Please share. If you're out there, please share the links to this recording with anybody you think might be interested in events, anybody you think might be interested in meeting Jasmine or coming to our major conference that we got coming up. It's going to be amazing, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys. Bye.
Hi, guys. It was so cool. Thank you so much, Coach.